In tonight's wild tale, we unravel the curious case of Governor Timmy Tampon Walz, a man whose military record might be more fiction than fact. He claims it's all just a grammar issue because who hasn't accidentally turned a weekend at boot camp into a full-blown war epic? But is this really about rogue punctuation? Or is Tampon Tim just spinning a yarn to cover up some serious fibs? Grab your red pens and maybe a lie detector, because this story's about to get a major rewrite.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Tim Walz's brother came out and said that he is warning America, saying his brother is not the type of character that you want making decisions about the future. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. We're going to jump into this article by Newsweek, or Newsmax, excuse me. I'm 100% opposed to all of his ideologies. This is what Jeff Walz said. This is the brother of Tim Walz. On Saturday, after a series of Facebook posts warned against electing his brother had surfaced. Jeff Walz, 67, is reported considering publicly backing Republican president nominee Donald Trump, but is holding off to date to keep his family out of it. I thought long and hard about doing something like this. Now, this was on a Facebook post. I thought long and hard about doing something like that. Jeff Walz wrote on a Facebook poster who asked that he could get on a campaign rally stage with Donald Trump to announce his endorsement to the post reported without linking official posts. I'm torn between that and just keeping my family out of it. Governor Walz, 60, also has a 63-year-old sister who lives in Nebraska. Jeff Walz says he has not spoken to his brother in 8 years, which included not telling his family that he was picked by Harris as the running mate. It was shown that Jeff, Tim's brother, donated money to the Republican campaign in 2016. Now, there's a lot of stuff percolating when it comes to Timmy Tampon Teasy. I'm going to reference some of these points here. We all remember when Tim Walz said this after, I believe it was a town hall of some sort, but this is what he said.
Don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at. Don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only place where those weapons.
Funny fact is, Tim Walz never carried weapons in war. And he goes on to say this. This is a post that also percolated across the intro webs of Timmy Tampon Teasy.
When I talk to my constituents in southern Minnesota, I don't care if they're Republican, Independent, Democrat, it doesn't matter to them. When I tell them, when I was in Afghanistan, you know what our troops were worried about? They were worried about their families' health care, and they were worried about their pensions. I said, do you think that's really what you want them to be worrying about? When their friends and colleagues are being shot on a daily basis?
He said when he was in Afghanistan, he never went to Afghanistan. And in the interview in CNN, Dana Bash, the very highly scripted interview on CNN with Dana Bash, she asked him about his military service, and this is what he said.
You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom, whether it's Congress or the governor. My record speaks for itself, but I think people are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about our children being shot in schools and around guns. So I think people know me. They know who I am. They know where my heart is. And again, my record has been out there for over 40 years to speak for itself.
And the idea that you said that you were in war, yeah. Did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about, in this case, this was after a school shooting. The idea.
This wasn't just after a school shooting. I'm going to replay this video because the first video that I showed you when he was at like the town hall, that was one instance. Here's a second instance.
When I talk to my constituents in southern Minnesota, I don't care if they're Republican, Independent, Democrat, it doesn't matter to them. When I tell them, when I was in Afghanistan, you know what our troops were worried about? They were worried about their families' health care, and they were worried about their pensions. I said, do you think that's really what you want them to be worrying about? When their friends and colleagues are being shot on a daily basis, and yet at the end of the day, they have to worry about.
This guy, Dana Bash, asked him again. She said this.
And the idea that you said that you were in war.
Yeah.
Did you misspeak as the campaign has said?
Yeah, I said we were talking about in this
This guy is a liar.
case. This was after a school shooting. The ideas of carrying these weapons of war. And my wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar is not always correct. But again, if
My grammar is not always correct.
it's not this, it's an attack on my children for showing love for me, or it's an attack on my dog. I'm not going to do that. And the one thing I'll never do is I'll never demean another member's service in any way. I never have, and I never will.
Now, it's not about demeaning anybody's service. Commend him for serving our country, and commend anybody that's watching that is servicing currently our country, or plans to service our country, or has serviced our country in any military aspect. But it's not the fact that they're demeaning the aspect of his service. It's the fact that he's lying about his rank and the type of service that he did. Regardless on any service that you do, kudos, but don't lie about your rank and what you did in the service. Do you guys agree with me? Drop it in the chat. Let me know. This is Tim Walz, again, dodging and deflecting the question, because he clearly did that with Dana Bash. And he was asked, he was at the state fair in his hometown, which his hometown seems presumably to not like him, obviously, because he let the city burn during those riots and did absolutely nothing and delayed help for several days. He was asked the question about the hostages in Gaza. And prior to this, he was asked a series of questions, which he can clearly hear the individuals who were asking him questions, and they asked him about the hostages in Gaza.
What's your reaction to the 6 hostages being found in Gaza?
Thanks, everybody.
Running away, just like he did when he got the orders and he left his troops high and dry. Running away. He runs away. Megyn Kelly is going to drop a major bombshell interview tonight. Shout out to everybody watching, by the way. Happy holidays for those that are in the United States. Megyn Kelly is going to drop this interview tonight, and she interviews some of Tim Walz's colleagues.
You come forward.
It is morally indefensible. He didn't care. It was all about him. He's a military impersonator.
I don't understand how he could do it morally, or he's got absolutely no integrity.
The rumor went across the state that he had quit, and it was like, who the hell does that? I mean, it was just unbelievable that a CSM abandoned his troops, 500 soldiers basically. But beyond that, there's 1,000 parents out there that expect that person to lead those people into combat.
He's a habitual liar. He lies about everything. He lies about stuff that doesn't make sense. You're taking a piece of their thunder and you're trying to capture it and put it in a bottle for yourself and use that for your own benefit.
He basically said, I've got better things to do. Go pick somebody else to go on a mission. Well, if you sold out your guard unit and abandoned them, I mean, what are you going to do at the national level?
Fear is a reaction. Bravery is a decision. And Walz has made the wrong decision. He's not brave. I call him a coward because he is.
That interview is dropping tonight with Megyn Kelly. And on Fox News, they were asked, because Tim Walz has made several trips to China, excuse me. And they were having an exclusive interview regarding the national security risk as Tim Walz being in leadership.
You mentioned what's going on with the CCP. I want to talk about that. So he taught in China from 89 to 90. He visited the country 30 times. He got married on the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square massacre. He honeymooned in China. And to your point, he promoted Chinese communism as a teacher to his American students. So I think what this does, Governor, is it begs the question, is Tim Walz a national security risk?
Absolutely. I'm 100% convinced he's a national security risk. This man wants America to grow up and be more like China, which is the exact opposite of what our leaders should be doing. I have spent all of my time fighting China, and for 30 years, I've been working in policy on protecting our food supply, and we've seen China not only manipulate our currency, steal our IP, treat us unfairly in trade agreements. They've also spied on us. They've come in and they're taking and buying our land. I have banned them purchasing land and doing state contracts in South Dakota. The rest of the country needs to realize and wake up that we do not want a leader like Tim Walz and Kamala Harris in the White House because of how they would undermine our national security. It's a big concern, and I hope we start talking about it a little bit more, that you have to have people in the White House that truly want to protect us, protect our republic, and fight socialism, fight Marxism, fight communism. That's not Tim Walz.
Stolen valor, not only with Timmy Tampon Walz, but also the stolen valor with Kamala Harris and her claiming that she worked at McDonald's. These people are attempting to gaslight us as Americans. Tampon Teezy's brother comes out and says that he's not in a line with his viewpoints and doesn't want to support him. He's lying about his military service. What else are these people lying about? They are lying to the face of Americans. What do you guys think about this situation? Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button, share, subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one.